pedestrian. He says, man, listen, I left from my hotel down the way and I followed the directions of the concierge. And I did everything he told me to do. I'm trying to find the Empire State Building. I was wondering, could you help me out? And the pedestrian says, man, just turn around, look up. You're standing right in front of it. Okay, that didn't kind of go like I had anticipated. I know you're trying to figure out what that have to do with Psalms 23. Well, let me see if I can put it this way. The problem with that fellow was that he was too close to the place. As it is sometimes with places, sometimes it's that way with people. We do not all the time recognize the greatness of people because we're too close. My grandparents, who raised me from the age of 3, took care of me as their very own. And as I was coming up, we had a little cottage apartment in our backyard, and that's where I stayed. My granddaddy would call me on the phone and he said, son, would you come in here and get me some water? Now, mind you, granddaddy and grandmama's room is right there. The kitchen is about right over here. I'm coming from way back there. You understand? But because my grandparents raised me, I've always learned to respect my elders. I come in, I get the water, give granddaddy the water. And of course, I'm not gonna mouth off. I know better than that. And my granddaddy, he looked at me, he said, son, he saw I was a little flustered. He said, son, let me just tell you something. Once a man, twice a child. Now, I didn't know what that meant until he passed. What granddaddy was saying is that life, if you live long enough, it'll take you from dependency to independency back to dependency. I couldn't recognize the greatness of granddaddy because I was too close. And as it is sometimes with places, and as it is sometimes with people, so it is with this passage. Everybody knows Psalms 23. This is the psalm that both the saints and the ain'ts all know. It's Psalms 23. It is the psalm of choice that is often read at the bedside of a dying loved one. Everybody knows Psalms 23. But if you would, for the next 5 minutes, just help me and let's all together just kind of stand back a little bit from the text so that we do not allow our familiarity with Psalms 23 to make us miss the significance of it today. Everything in verse 4 speaks. It says, yea, though I walk. Now let's not run by that word yea. The English Standard Version says even though. But yea, when you read yea, you get perhaps this feeling as if the psalmist is kind of down, you know, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death. You might get the sense that yea is an exclamation of a coward. But I want you to know this day that this is rather the proclamation of the confident. Because when you think about it, it really should read, yea, though I walk. It has movement, it has feeling, it has significance. Can I get a witness? Yeah, yea, though I walk. Notice the next word there. Walk. Walk, I ain't got time to really unpack all of it, but it does suggest I'm making some movement. I'm moving about. I'm going about. And though I'm going about where? Through the valley. The valley was never intended to be my permanent home. Can I get a witness? Some of us cannot recognize the value of the valley because rather than going through it, we have pitched our tents in it. Are y'all listening at what I'm saying? The psalmist says, yea, though I walk through. There's a preposition right there. Now let me just say this. I see encouragement in that preposition, through. Now I know that in is a preposition too, but in is a little different than through. In is kind of like I'm in trouble. Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? I'm in traffic. Now, it's different when you say I'm going through the traffic. I'm going through some trouble. I'm not meant to be here forever. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? And I've come to say to the graduates, this perhaps has been a valley for you. Yes, doing education, some of you, and doing proclamation on the other hand, raising children, taking care of your family, and yet to accomplish what you have accomplished. Only God could do it. Y'all excuse me, let me settle down. Yea, though I walk through the valley. The valley. I'd like to suggest that it's more than just a geographical depression in the earth. But for some, it can be a mental place where you're down, where you're in the dumps. But the psalmist said, oh no, don't you stay stuck there, because you're making progress. Look here, we started off in March of 2020. Here we are in October of 2021. We've been going through a pandemic, but God has been good. Can I get a witness? Well, let me finish here. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death. Let me get to this one thing here. He says, I will fear no evil. Now, how can he muster up that kind of confidence? I won't be afraid. I'd like to just say to you, you check it out later, but if you start in verse 1, verse 2, verse 3 of Psalms 23, it'll help you to understand how he gets to Psalms 23:4. He has a relationship with the shepherd. And when you have a relationship with the shepherd, and you learn how to move from talking about him to talking to him, you notice the pronoun shift, the person shift. He's talking in the third person about the Lord is my shepherd. He leads me, he guides me. But then there comes a time when you're going through the valley, when you've got to shift from talking about him to talking to him. He says, I'm not going to be afraid. This graduation proves the confidence of the students. Not afraid. And you know why the psalmist says I'm not afraid? It's wrapped up in two things. First of all, I've got his presence in my life. You are with me. Don't run by that. You are with me. But not only do I have his presence, I got his power. It's built in. It's simple. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. I got protection with the rod. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Sometimes I may fall in the hole, but thank God for the staff. Isn't it amazing that the same rod that was used to protect the sheep also poked the sheep? You know, sometimes we get off track. Sometimes we make wrong turns. But thank God that the shepherd, every now and then he'll poke us. Not because he's trying to break us. He's trying to help us. Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? I got his rod and his staff. Sometimes I fall in the hole. Sometimes I make mistakes. But thank God for the shepherd. And I'm done with my little commencement speech. But I want to tell this graduating class that you ought to take some time right now and give the shepherd of Psalms 23 a psalm praise. He brought you through. Give him praise. If he carried you through this season, give him praise.
Wow. Let's hear it one more time for our speaker, Pastor Bates. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. That was a considerably better hoop than I produced yesterday. Mine lasted 8 seconds. But I rode the bull. We're okay. We got her done. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the presentation of the graduates. All right. Now, we are Faith International University and Seminary, and we say international because we are international. We have students from many countries, and certainly not just the United States. And as we know, we've had a great impact, and the students have had a great impact on us especially through the African American Baptist churches. We've been it's just been a terrific relationship we've had there, but we also have relationships around the world. We have a relationship with a group in Huntington Beach called the Circuit Riders. If you've ever heard of YWAM, Youth with a Mission, I call the Circuit Riders the Navy SEALs of YWAM, a special group, and a very good students. So here's what I have to do, though. It's very important for me. I'm going to announce every degree and every name, even if they are not here. So I'd hope you just cheer for every name. Now, again, if there's somebody a little closer to you, you're going to cheer a little louder, I'm sure, and that's fine. We want to make some noise, but it is important for me to, and John, you can come up because we're going to start passing out these degrees, and then we'll be doing, on the baccalaureate degrees, you'll just come up and you'll receive your degree. And, pardon?
There's only one for 2020.
Oh, there is one for 2020. Okay, that is, okay. And then for the masters, we'll ask you to come up, get your degree, and then kneel at the prie-dieu. It's really a kneeler, but it really is a prie-dieu as well. And we'll hood you. And then for the doctoral students, exactly the same thing. And it makes a good photo op. Now, here's the nice thing about it, is when you come up, your name is called. If you would like to slip your mask off for a bit so you can take a better picture so people know